hop. I seen your boy going viral actually, Dejaun Paul. He was talking about the GNX features and how they not getting no royalties from the GNX album. And then Hitter J3 jumped on the post, said, "Man, you don't even know what you're talking about. They was offered 10 bands up front or royalties on the back end, and most artists took the 10 bands up front." So what y'all think about that? Because as y'all know, GNX charted, Grammy, all that type of things going on. Them residuals is gonna last over a lifetime versus you taking 10K up front.
This what I get from it. For one, you got to be business savvy, in my opinion. You got to be business savvy, but also they had an opportunity that a lot of people would never get in their lifetime to be picked and be put on Kendrick's album, which was the hottest album at the time and the biggest artist at the time. So if anything, a lot of people would have just did that opportunity for free. And you had the option to pick your royalties or your 10K. And to even get that, you should have probably picked the royalties knowing the type of artist Kendrick is, but 10K is still a lot to pay you to be on his album. Like, niggas is not, that's the problem with people. They're not grateful. And we look at things like, well, they should get both, they should get this. No, nigga, life ain't fair for one, and for two, it's just to the point where you have to accept things as they come. The world opened up to you. He gave you his platform. He gave you action at some of the biggest things you probably will ever do in your life. Half them artists is never been heard of again. You had the baton. It was up to you to make something out of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you had the choice, if you were given the choice to choose one or the other, and whichever one you chose, that's on you. You got to be more business savvy than that. You can't expect somebody to do the business for you, right? You come in and it's two business people there. It's one side and it's the other side, and we making a deal. So if I give you the qualifications or whatever it is, and you pick A instead of B, and then 30 days or a year down the road, now you want to pick the other option, it's too late. You signed your name on a dotted line. So I think from a business standpoint, you made your bed, now you laying it. But I think maybe people are a little upset because of the way the closeness in the studio, right? Meeting Kendrick, probably spending time with him, etc. They maybe thought he would have, what's the word for it, pushed them in a better direction, or they felt maybe a little bit more like he owed them something because of that personal connection. You see that all the time. People, entitlement. You see it all the time. Well, I'm hanging out, he's my friend or whatever, and then it's like, but this is business and this is the separation. So I could see why people have a problem with it, but in reality, you had a chance to go get a lawyer, somebody read it, scan it, put it in ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. You could have did multiple things, and y'all didn't. Y'all took that 10 bands, went down the street, got a Buddha chain and some earrings, and it was done. Let's keep it.
I do have a question. Was the artist even complaining about it?
I don't know if they were.
I think that was the John Paul from bring us.
I don't think the artist was complaining. I think Dejaun was just more so bringing it up because somebody who was involved in the dealings gave him the information on the back end, and he wound up putting it on the timeline. Then it went viral like crazy. Like, what? GNX, Grammy nominated? Kendrick basically is using guys to get, back in the limelight, making it look like he helping the West Coast, but he really not. He really graped these artists or whatever the case. Come to find out, they chose the 10 bands. He gave them the option. Look, you ain't getting both. You can get the royalties, which over time gonna be more than 10. It might not be a lump sum, but you got to think about it. This is Kendrick Lamar, GNX. This is going to be a lifetime. But niggas can only see what's in front of them. They can't see what's beyond the trees and beyond the fog. Nigga, this is GNX. You know how many, you finna get royalties off? Like, come on, bro. What are you talking about?
Respectfully, like I was saying, GNX is a better album than Drake. All of that shit we were just talking about. So I will say this. We should know better now. Respectfully, $10,000, even if you use it responsibly, it's not a lot of money. So honestly, oftentimes you should have took the royalties because you already know over a lifespan of money, I'd rather have constant income than just have one quick lump sum and just let that be. I'm going to be short-winded with it. At the end of the day, step your knowledge up. No one owes you anything. It's your job to do your research. It's your job to learn the music business if you want to be in it. Kendrick doesn't owe you anything. He propelled y'all up on putting y'all on the album. Y'all didn't take the money. I mean, y'all took the money. Don't gripe about it now. You should have did the royalties later.
Yeah, my biggest thing is if the artist didn't even complain about it, then it's really not even a problem. It's a made up problem because that means they was grateful for the opportunity. Now, if they're complaining about it, yes, then that becomes a problem. But like I said, it's you got choices. And 10K, people be acting like 10K ain't nothing, but 10K is something for an artist that's really into their craft. And a lot of these niggas probably ain't never got 10K from a show or nothing. So that might be one of your biggest payouts, even though it's nothing, because they're, like what you just said, comparison is killer all joy because it's Kendrick. You're expecting the same thing as Kendrick, or you're expecting to be equal. You're not, nigga. That nigga is miles and years of work, put his 10,000 hours in ahead than where any of these artists are. They're trying to get to this point, and I'm bringing you up the mountain. So I'm giving you one of the best opportunities you got of a lifetime, and you got to be grateful for that and move forward and create your own lane off of that.
I think this is just Dejaun throwing a chink in TDE's armor, because he's going to war with TDE right now. He's going at it with Punch. He's going at it with the whole Apollo. He's going at it with anybody connected to TDE, and anything that could make them look bad, he's going to highlight that. That's just what's going on. He had them trending about the lawsuit. DJ Academics put it up on his timeline, and he did a whole 2-hour stream about it. So this is just another dart that Dejaun is throwing at TDE, and just so happens that Kendrick is up on the chopping block. That's just all it is in reality.
Keeping somebody in the algorithm.
But it is a greater conversation. Like, hold on, y'all niggas took 10 bands over royalties on GNX?
Well, I was going to ask y'all, like, when does it, because, we've talked about other situations where we talk about labels and companies, being predatory and kind of taking advantage of people not having the knowledge. I think on the other end, we can't say you have to have the knowledge, you should have brought the lawyer in, et cetera, but a lot of these people are in dire times. I think especially in Los Angeles, where I don't think people are getting paper like, some of these mainstream artists. It's hard to come by. So when I get you, but I'm just saying as in, like, it's easy to say when you have the paperwork in front of you, or when you don't have it in front of you and you aren't struggling, oh, I would have took the royalties and left the 10K aside. But maybe that's a part of the overall trap, because that's not that that's what their intent was, but that's kind of how you see the industry work anyway, is I'm going to give you less up front, right? If you take it up front, and then you're going to get fucked on the back end. So it is predatory in a way, even if Kendrick didn't necessarily do that. The business is predatory in a way, because you're banking on these people being in a certain situation where they're going to take that cash grab over the royalty.
But in 2026, we can't make excuses for niggas about not understanding the business when it's so many stories beforehand, especially if you're getting in the rap business to the point of, and you have ChatGPT, you have a lot of things that you can use. And that might sound crazy, but any contract you can throw in there, and it'll break down what makes more sense for you if you are not able to think for yourself. And like you said, you have a team of people, so really is no excuse. I just think the business is the business, and you got to understand and learn the business and finesse it your way.
So ultimately, all of that is, everything's valid, but the problem about when you're a public figure, it breaks the cardinal sin about talking about what you make. Anybody who knows anything about business, if you had a father or anybody business savvy, it doesn't matter about gender, they tell you never talk about what you make. You don't talk about money publicly. I'm not supposed to know what you make, etc. So off top, once you start, money is a messy situation off top. Money is a very sensitive topic. So you're leading the conversation, your disagreement, whether it's strategic or not, it's about money ultimately. That's where you're coming from. So it's messy. You don't talk about money. And this is the problem about entertainment, sports entertainment. Their money is always talked about. And so that's what this is really about. It's about money, notoriety. Hey, he's not looking at it being grateful. Hey, I'm out here now. People know me. Like you said, take the baton, run with it. He's making it about the money. If it's really about the money, fine. But you have that discussion behind closed doors. You don't talk about money publicly.
I think about you should fake it till you make it. Even if you're struggling right now, it's nothing wrong with getting a job. If you're an artist and you're not out there like a Kendrick Lamar, it's okay to do a DoorDash. Shout out to DoorDash. You know what I mean? Inside joke. If you can work at UPS, they got a preload shift. I mean, you got to do what you need to do to make ends meet until you make it there. It's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why we have this image as every rapper got it like that. No one got it like that, bro. No one was born with money unless you were under a mogul or something like that. It's okay to have a hustle until you get there. And we do it as far as having a 9 to 5. You got a 9 to 5, you got a side hustle, and then you invest. That's 3 streams of income. So you got to do that. So it's okay to put the money on the back burner. If that 10K you need up front, cool, take it. But if you try to fake it till you make it, then your priorities is fucked up.
I'm going to be honest. As a rapper, you can't DoorDash. Because the first fan that see you or fan and they get you, oh, this nigga DoorDash,
Jumper Live
put you
news.
up on the gram, you on No Jumper Live, you on Academic, it's your career is over
they
with.
bleeding buck
Now
for that
you might want to go work a night shift somewhere, but you can't be too public with an actual 9 to 5.
Just bleed buck.
Yeah,
And they was just bleeding buck about having a car with the
Chevy.
windows that you
Nah,
had
and
to
you know
physically
what, son?
roll
They-
down when I was 50.
They did Young Jock like that, try to laugh
Jock
at him.
too, he was
but he was Uber. He was doing an Uber driver, and he was like, "What's wrong with that? Like, nigga, I'm making money." Like, so he didn't really care though.
Because as a rapper, you got to uphold a certain image, especially 9 times out of 10, the content you're going to be rapping about is not going to reflect a DoorDash lifestyle. And I'm glad you brought up the Chat GPT because word to Finesse 2 times, a lot of rappers out here is getting fucked over on the business. He didn't find out he was in a 360 deal till somebody randomly told him, hey, put your contract in chat. Check this out. A lot of artists will, man, stop playing, man. This Jay Prince, these my peoples. He said, man, I fuck around and threw that in there. And I owe the label everything. They own everything. This why I was giving Drake a little bit of grace. Because y'all niggas sitting here saying, figure the business out. He figured that shit out. Got out the contract. Now the nigga getting offered billions. I got to tip my hat to that. Damn, you beat the label, the majors, nigga. If that was Jay, if that was Nas, if that was anybody that we didn't hate, if that was Kendrick, we would have been like, that nigga's a genius.
I don't.
But because it's Drake, we're like, fuck this nigga. I'm doing it for the culture.
Speak to who you talking to.
I'm looking at I'm looking at this nigga.
Because I'm not mad at the nigga for doing business. It's a lot of artists that been in labels then eventually got out of their labels. It's like you use the label to propel you, then eventually you should want to go on your own. So I'm not gonna be faulting that.
I'm never gonna stop trying to get a win either. Fuck you
Cool.
niggas.
Hey, listen. That's cool. We can talk about the business. But 98% of the fans don't give a fuck about the business. They want to be able to vibe to the music when they're at the club, car, with their kids, whatever the case may be. When you bumping Drake right now, you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, that was so intelligent that he did 3 albums so he got the bit. Nobody's talking about that shit in the masses. You're talking about the few percentage. So if you want to talk about that amongst the few percentage, you talk about them. They not coming on the far way to be here. Oh, y'all thinking of the business side of it? No, they want to hear our opinion about the album, about his music.
How?
Real
Y'all
talk.
niggas talked about how soft the nigga is. That ain't got shit to do with the
Bro,
music.
I'm not saying he's soft, bro.
I hate that nigga.
Now that do got to do with the music because his
It's coming out of the
softness
music.
is what precedes on the tracks.
Because he's an R&B thug, bro. At the end of the day, that's all Drake is. He's an R&B thug. Hey, by all, salute to him, bro. But I'm gonna tell you this: most people don't care about the
Nigga be
business side.
strapping.
They just want to know, does the shit slap or not? Straight up. Let's just be real. For the masses, people just care about albums. We're not talking about, oh, 444 was so great because Jay-Z put it on Tidal. It wasn't on Apple Music first. You had to go to Tidal first to go. We don't care about that. Was the album bumping or not?